Hey guys, and welcome to 3 brain-twisting paradoxes that cannot be solved. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get straight to it. Number 3. The grandfather paradox. The paradox is described as follows. The time traveller went to the past to a moment when his grandfather and grandmother had not married yet. At the time, the traveller kills his grandfather and, therefore, is never born. If he is never born, then he is unable to travel through time and kill his grandfather, which means that he would be born, and so on. Assuming the causal link between the time traveller's present and future, the grandfather paradox that disrupts that link may be regarded as impossible, thus precluding the arbitrary alteration of one's fate. However, a number of hypotheses have been postulated to avoid the paradox, such as the idea that the past is unchangeable, so the grandfather must have already survived the attempted killing, as stated earlier, or the time traveller creates or joins an alternate timeline or parallel universe in which the traveller was never born. A variant of the grandfather paradox is the Hitler paradox, or Hitler's murder paradox, a fairly frequent trope in science fiction in which the protagonist travels back in time to murder Adolf Hitler before he can instigate World War II. Rather than necessarily preventing time travel, the action removes any reason for the travel, along with any knowledge that the reason ever existed, thus removing any point in travelling in time in the first place. Number 2. The paradox of saving. The paradox thrift, or paradox of saving, states that if everyone tries to save more money during times of economic recession, then aggregate demand will fall and will in turn lower total savings in the population because of the decrease in consumption and economic growth. The paradox is, narrowly speaking, that total savings may fall even when individual savings attempt to rise, and, broadly speaking, that increase in savings may be harmful to an economy, because while individual thrift is generally averred to be good for the economy, the paradox of thrift holds that collective thrift may be bad for the economy. Hypothetically, if all people will save their money, savings will rise, but there is a tendency that the macro and economic status will fall. Number 1. The Pinocchio paradox. The paradox arises when Pinocchio says, "My nose grows now," and it is a version of the liar paradox. The liar paradox is defined in philosophy and logic as a statement, "This sentence is false." Any attempt to assign a classic binary truth value to this statement leads to a contradiction or paradox. This occurs because if the statement, "This sentence is false," is true, then it is false. This would mean that it is technically true, but also that it is false, and so on without end. Although the Pinocchio paradox belongs to the liar paradox tradition, it is a special case because it has no semantic predicates, as "my sentence is false" does, for example. The Pinocchio paradox has nothing to do with Pinocchio being a known liar. If Pinocchio were to say, "I am getting sick," this could be either true or false, but Pinocchio's sentence, my nose grows now," can be neither true nor false. Hence this and only this sentence creates the Pinocchio liar paradox. And that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching guys, and we'll see you next time.